Football. A game where greatness is defined in an instant. A game of suspense, skill and strength. A game of trials and triumphs. All in the pursuit of one thing: victory. Experience all football has to offer. See Victory League live.
Kick off with you, mate. 7th last year. How do you go further up the grid this year?
Well, we've recruited reasonably well, I think, with the players, and obviously Shay's been mentioned previously, so he's a huge pickup for us. And with that comes a wealth of experience and also professionalism on and off the park. So, we're certainly hoping that that's going to transition through the squad. And the other players, like young Aaron Wilson, ex-NTC, Tyler Harrison coming into our squad as a 16-year-old lad, having Jaden back, Jaden Hay, those type of guys. I think the attitude within the club environment is a lot better than it was last year, and I think that if you have that attitude, positive attitude in and around the playing group, I think you've got half the battle won. So we certainly hope to improve this year. I think we've got the squad to do it. And we'll just see how things go as from Friday night.
Victory. Ken Morton's men up there at South Hobart are a tough side to come up against first up in the league. How do you think you'll go about beating them this week?
Yeah, look, we've got a few outs and they're a brilliant side. I mean, there's no doubt, they're my tip to win it again this year, to be honest with you. And the one thing that, Ken does is he brings out consistency in his teams week in, week out. He's got tremendous depth, and it's going to be a tough ask for us. But like I said, we went into last year's first round with South Hobart last year as very much the underdogs, and our guys lifted. And I've got no doubt that when you're playing a team at the calibre of what South Hobart are, our guys will give it the best they possibly can. So we just need to be positive in our minds and put that little white thing in the back of the net. Be nice.
That was my next question. Do you go all out attack when you take on a side like South Hobart, or you just hope to contain them as best you can?
Look, it's difficult. I mean, we've got some big outs tomorrow night, so we need to be cautious going into the game. So I think we'll be taking a cautious approach to start with and just see their setup and progress from there. And hopefully, it's important for us that South Hobart play very much a possession game. They move the ball fast. We need to understand that, and we need to also understand that when we do win possession of the ball, we need to maintain that possession. If we're going to turn it over quickly, then we're going to be chasing shadows all night. So it's something that we've worked on this week, and we'll see how we go Friday.
Who will be missing?
Jaden Hay's out for probably 4 to 6 weeks with a adductor muscle. Cal Griffin's been out, hasn't trained for probably the last 4 weeks with a groin. Dave Hobart, groin as well. Jeremy Marshall has commitments with university tomorrow night, and Ben Robinson is competing in the Tasmanian Athletics Championships over the weekend. So we've got those 5 players out.
Start with you, Ken. Another season, here we go. Does it get any better than last year?
I hope so, but it'll certainly be difficult. It was a stellar year for us last year, and we played some good football on the way there, and certainly in the final games of the season we're in good form. So difficult task ahead for us, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
A few changes in the off-season for you. Can you run us through some of the changes to the line?
Yeah, we've had quite a turnover of players. We've lost a few and gained a few quality players as well. We brought in Kieran Ferns and Connor Cass from Melbourne. Locally, Hugh Undy's been a good pickup for us, and obviously Braden Mann and Andy Brennan are really good signings, and they had a bit of power in the front line, which we maybe were lacking last year. So yeah, we've got some good pickups, but some big losses. Lucas Hill's a big loss for us at centre back. a young lad, powerful and strong and quick, so we'll miss him a little bit. But again, Paul Stevens comes in there, and again, another youngster with a lot of talent.
Shay Hickey, I was reading, has gone to Glenorchy. What are your feelings on losing him?
Disappointed, because Shay's just been a super player for us, but he's got a challenge ahead of him now, and he wanted that challenge at night, so he went, with our best wishes, and we hope he does well, except on Friday night. And he's a quality lad, and I'm sure he'll be a big player for him.
You've got a few changes in the squad. Benny's out with suspension, Matty Lewis with an injury. Any other changes?
The major injuries are Matty Lewis ankle, Hugh Ludford hip flexor, Bundy with his hip flexor, and Benny with 2 weeks suspension.
7 goals.
They're the main ones for us.
7 goals from Andy Brennan last week against Nelson. Good signs from him.
Yeah, good signs. Early days. He's maybe 4 or 5 games away from being where we need him to be. He had a long rest last year, long time out of the game, so he's just coming back into a good playing mode. But we would expect him to improve very quickly over the next 2-3 weeks.
Will Braden be down to play?
Braden's down. He's been training well. Same with Braden. It's a little bit lack of match practice and hard training, but he's picked that work. He's training 3-4 times a week now, so he'll be ready for Friday night.
What would be his role off the bench?
No, he'll start. I mean, most of the top players will start, and we'll try and get an hour out of them, and then we maybe...
It's a very different squad, obviously, as we've discussed, to last year. How will you go about beating the Knights, considering the round 1 last year it was a 3-1 draw?
But we've had a disappointing pre-season, I think, and maybe Knights might say the same thing. But when the season kicks off, it's the first game of the round, first game of the Victory League season, and everybody's up for that challenge. And I'm sure Knights will be in this game and there to pick up 3 points, and we'll be no different. We'll go into the game with our ideas on how we think we can win the game, and we'll put them into practice and work hard and see if we can get off to a good start this year.
Given you've had so many personnel changes in the off-season, Ken, and such a huge year last year, do you revise your goals going into this year, or are you still aiming titles wherever you can?
Without a doubt, no question, we need to be as high as we possibly can, and that's number 1 in Tasmania. We need to be in the upcoming Australian National Championships. That's our aim, that's our goal, and as you spoke earlier, can we do better than we did last year, and that's what we need to try and do, and getting better.
Quick question for you, Hugh, with Shay going to the Knights, do you think that makes the job of beating them harder, given that he's probably taking a bit of information from South Hobart to his new club?
Not only the information he's taken, but the quality of player that he is. I mean, as everyone's seen over the past few years at South, and before that when he was at Knights previously, he's a quality player on the park, so it's not only the information he has on South and how we play, although we've adjusted a few things with the new players coming in, it's the quality player that he is, which will make it even more challenging to beat the Knights.
Push on from there.
Hugh, what's your assessment of the South Hobart defence at the moment?
We're a new bunch of players playing together. I mean, as Ken said, we've lost Lucas Hill. He's gone abroad this season. Cam Williams is in Melbourne, and there's been a reshuffling of the back line. It's taken us a little while. It's probably shown in the Summer Cup we didn't play coherently well together for the full 90, but we've picked it up over the last couple of weeks of training, and I think we're starting to gel and we're starting to be on the same page, which is great. So hopefully no holes on Friday night.
What